Time for a look at your West Tennessee forecast with meteorologist Brian Davis.
Welcome in, everyone. Well, it could have been a potentially bad evening, but so far the storms that we've been watching and letting you know about, they have not materialized into anything severe, but we did see some of those popping on radar. We'll show you that here in a moment. But in the meantime, very humid out there. Dew points at 66 degrees right now in Savannah. We've been looking at some of those dark clouds at times overhead, 75 degrees. Very humid day, humidity at 74%. Memphis, 81 degrees, dew point of 55. Those south winds are cranking up there at about 15. And in Trenton, you now see some sunshine, but it was looking darker overhead earlier. But now at a 66 degree dew point, 75 degrees, we are building the humidity and the heat across the area ahead of tomorrow. So this is not a good thing, but I think most areas are going to be okay, but it is going to be a very active morning. 75 in Jackson. We're looking at 64 degree dew point. So some very unstable air. It's sitting there. It's ready to fuel a storm at any time, but the lift mechanism has been a little bit weak. And the thinking earlier this afternoon as we saw the clouds breaking up, sometimes you can get those warmer pockets of air, and those can start to rise like a hot air balloon, and you can get those isolated damaging, storms. But thankfully, we had enough stability that we did not see any of those wind up going strong or severe. They behaved basically. All right, temperatures have been quite warm though. Look at this, low 80s over here from Covington to Memphis. We got mid 70s right now to the lower to mid 70s to the north here. Places like Troy coming in at 75 degrees, winds cranking out of the south right now as high as about 20 miles per hour. So the heat and humidity is there. We're just mainly looking for that lift mechanism, and it's been kind of stuck off out here to the west of us for the last few days. However, notice this little feature here. This is an ugly map, I know, but it's the supercell composite. Notice how it gets in here towards the morning hours of tomorrow. That's kind of the concern. Yes, it's going to be on the lower end. You see the middle numbers down here at the bottom will be about 8, 9, right along in there. But still, when we see numbers close to 10, that's when we have to watch out, especially here in West Tennessee. We can begin to see some of those embedded severe storms with all the rain that's coming. Looking at radar, though, again, here's some of those little cells we were expecting. They did develop. One I drove through in Jackson. It got dark, real dark underneath. It rained a little bit, and then it was gone. So they just didn't have enough instability to quite get their act together. Meanwhile, out here to the west, tornado watches. We've had a couple of tornado warnings here this hour and numerous severe thunderstorm warnings that have been going on. But that tornado warning just south of Tulsa, Oklahoma, it looks like it is, well, it looks like they just reissued back to a tornado warning again in that last little look. But back at home, fairly quiet this evening, just a scattered, can't rule out a little scattered brief shower this evening. Here's our severe weather outlook today. Here's what it does tomorrow. Shifts right through West Tennessee. Slight risk both above us and below us, but we will have that risk. It's a 1 out of 5, but it covers all of West Tennessee tomorrow. So here's a look at this evening. You can see the severe risk, much like it was a couple of days ago, not far to the west. In fact, very close to Lake County. So we'll be watching this evening just to make sure some of these storms don't get too close to Lake County. Most of them are going to be going north and east until about 3, 4 o'clock in the morning as that main line starts to shift in our direction, and all those storms that are going from southwest to northeast are going to get closer and closer to West Tennessee. So you'll want to be watching out closer to the Mississippi first, Memphis up to Dyersburg, up to Union City. This is our outlook for tomorrow. A nice close-up view here. You can see it encompasses all of West Tennessee here from Dyersburg, Union City to Ridgely, Memphis, over to Milledgeville, over to Jackson, Savannah, Selmer, Parsons, and Big Sandy, Camden right there included, Paris, all of these areas. And then just right out to the south and west, fringe areas of Shelby County and that slight risk, which is a 2 out of 5. So either way, we're going to get some heavy rain, some storms in here tomorrow. Looking at Futurecast, here's what it was projecting this afternoon. It overdid it a little bit. Let's switch over for tomorrow's, and what you'll see is all this rain that's going to be coming near the Mississippi River. Watch the time here. It'll give you a heads up there about 6 to 7 a.m. Here's about 10 a.m. here near the I-40 corridor, Tennessee River, late morning into the early afternoon. Then some more storms in the afternoon, 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Try to redevelop in what instability is going to be left over West Tennessee. And it looks like we'll finally get a majority of the storm activity, at least most of it, out of here by about 3 or 4 o'clock. But you saw a little bit of storm activity in the southern counties trying to redevelop there at about 8 to 9 o'clock tomorrow night. So it's going to be a long go tomorrow with, again, most of the threat is going to be in the first half of the day there through the early afternoon hours. So that's what we're expecting. That's what you've been hearing about. Thankfully, it's not a 3 out of 5 or a 4 out of 5. It is just a 1 out of 5 right now as it stands. And we're really close to the game here. So hopefully it won't be bumped up any between now and then. Either way, just be weather aware. We'll be right here in the studio. We'll break in as needed in the morning, and we'll be here ahead of the storms, just seeing what they're doing as they come our direction. For tonight, though, most of us, I think now at this point, are just going to be under some clouds, a few peaks of sunshine this evening. Really a pleasant evening with the temperature going back down in the low 70s, but it'll still be kind of humid there. And then in the morning, here comes the storms, mainly from about 6 o'clock onward from west towards the east. So a stormy morning for our Saturday. I know a lot of us worked all week, and here we go to a stormy Saturday. That's going to be our rainiest day. Will be Saturday with the storms on and off through a good portion of the daytime hours. High of 73. We won't go as high as we have been because we should be on the other side of that front enough that we'll only go up to about 73, 67. On Sunday, you might want a jacket if you're going out, especially the morning hours of Sunday, but I think most of the rain will be out of here. However, there will be still a few little small patches of drizzle underneath that cloudy sky. So here's the 7-day forecast. Look at that, 81 today. That's a warm day and a lot of humid air setting up ahead of the storms. We're only going to go to 63 tonight, so still well above the threshold to support some storms. And then here comes the storms in Saturday's outlook here. And then a few lingering patches of drizzle possible Sunday, but definitely not a rain out there, but much cooler as we go into Sunday. Starting off dry Monday, but we've got a day 5 severe weather outlook. It could be worse than the one that we're looking at tomorrow, and it's going to be setting up possibly Tuesday evening into Wednesday. All right, I'll step out of the way, let you see a good look at that 7-day forecast. We'll be in with you again this evening later. And of course, be sure and check in with West Tennessee Weather Network for all of your weather updates, and we'll see you again in the morning. Take care.
We are West Tennessee Weather Channel.